Welcome back. I'm continuing part 3 of the study, The Abomination of Desolation. I left off part 2 in Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. Let's read that again, and then we'll use that, and then we'll parallel that with some scriptures in the Old Testament. So let's start in verse 22 here. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Now, let's go to Isaiah to see what Isaiah had to say about that. Isaiah also mentions, a remnant that's going to be saved. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7 through 9. Your country is desolate, your cities are burnt with fire, your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. Let's go to Ezekiel 5, verse 12. A third part of thee shall die with pestilence, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee. A third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. So Isaiah said a remnant's going to be spared. Ezekiel is saying a third part is going to be spared. And let's go and see what the Apostle Paul. Now, the Apostle Paul in Romans 9 is quoting Isaiah. Paul later picks this up in Romans 9, verse 29. And as Isaiah said before, except the Lord of Sabbath had left unto us a seed, we had been as Sodom and been made like unto Gomorrah. So when Jesus is saying, except those days shall be cut off short, no flesh would be saved, but, for the elect, there was, God decided beforehand, not all the Jews were going to get killed. He was going to have a remnant that was going to be rescued from this, because not all the Jews are going to be done away with during this time. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9, verse 26. So we can see this abomination of desolation to show that this event is already is a past event, it's not a future. And also to find out when Jesus mentions Daniel, so that way we don't get it confused with the abomination that was caused by Antiochus Epiphanes during BC 167 and 160, around 167, 168. I believe that was the year when Antiochus Epiphanes sacrificed a pig in the temple. So if he did that in 167 BC before Christ, obviously when Daniel's talking about this in Daniel 9:26, it cannot be the one that was done by Antiochus Epiphanes. So it would have had to have been the one that happened in AD 70. Let's read verse 26 of Daniel chapter 9. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. So this is after Jesus the Messiah is cut off. So this definitely after 30-something AD, this is going to happen. So it's obviously not 167 BC. So I wanted to point that out so we know which abomination of desolation is being talked about here. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and until the end of the world desolations are determined. So I wanted to clarify that up front so we don't get it mixed up with previous abomination that's happened before. Let's go to Luke chapter 19, verse 41 through 44. Luke 19, 41 to 44. Let me find that here. Here we go. Okay. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, If thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. So this is when the Roman armies surround Jerusalem, as Dr. Luke said when he gives his account of the Abomination of Desolation, which I will read next. You could see that the three accounts of the Abomination of Desolation in the three Gospels. Luke's account gives a little bit more detail than Matthew and Mark's account, and Luke gives us even a bigger hint, a bigger clue, so we could figure out exactly when this Abomination of Desolation is going to take place, what they had to look out for. So if we turn to Luke chapter 21, we'll read Luke's account when Jesus is talking to the disciples about the Abomination of Desolation. So that would be Luke 21, verse 20 through 24. When you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, they shall be led away captives into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to end part 3 here, and I'm going to continue part 4, because the next segment is going to be a little bit long, so I don't want to go too long here. I'm going to end part 3 right here.